Every day, I'm reminded of my grandmother. Whether that is making tea in one of her mugs, using one of her little bowls to hold my jewelry or pendulum, admiring the small details in a plate she made, or putting flowers in a beautiful green vase. She is always around me. Pat was my grandmother. She passed away from breast cancer when I was 3 years old. Although she is gone, I feel connected to her and want to learn more about the woman she was. So I decided to go to my mom's house to learn more about Pat.
Pat was my mom. When people leave this earth or leave their physical body, they start to fade away a little bit. We can see them through pictures, but we can't smell them anymore or touch them anymore or hug them or be with them in that way anymore. And I think the pottery helps us feel connected.
Pat was a spiritual being, and she used pottery as a therapeutic tool to get her hands dirty and connect to the earth.
Pat was a really beautiful, gentle human. She had a really playful personality when she would let it out. She was artistic, she was curious. My relationship was really beautiful with my mom. When my mom was diagnosed with cancer, she was pretty young. She was like 42 years old. That's when things really changed for her and her life. She changed the way she was working, the way she was living. She found art.
All of Pat's pottery tells a story and marks a certain part of her life. I decided to gather up some of her pieces and sit down with my mom to talk about them.
This bowl is like my favorite. This one's my everydayer, and it's perfectly thin. I mean, look at this table. It looks so cool. There's the signatures on the bottom, and when she started, it was like a P and an N, and it was just like her first name, last name, initials. And then she created that little, her little signature that's like a P, and it's a cool shape, and that's on the more recent stuff. So that's kind of fun to go back and look at. She was such a critic of her stuff, but I loved all of it. It didn't matter. She's like, that thing's really crooked, like this mug, or that's too thick, but I just loved all of it.
There were a few pieces that Pat never completed, and when she passed, her friends at the pottery studio finished them to give to my grandpa. One of these was a green vase. My grandpa gifted it to me, and it quickly became the most important piece of pottery in my collection.
This thing was in her locker, and so when my mom died, her friends from the pottery studio went through her locker, and this wasn't fired or glazed. And so they did both of those things, and then they gave it to my dad. And of course, my dad gave it to you. But this is a really special piece because it's the last thing that she was working on and actually didn't finish.
Pat may not be with us in her physical body, but every time I look at her pottery, I can feel her energy and her love.
She was goodness, is, I feel her every day. And she wanted everybody around her to be okay.
I wonder where I got that from.
I wonder where I got that from. Yeah. I think it took her having this disease to really, truly love herself and find herself.
What do you think she would say to you right now in life, or to me right now in life?
Are you trying to make me cry? I think she would say, I'm really fucking proud of you. To both of us. Yeah.